you told the sheriff that you were walking to Nebraska.
That's right. To get my $1 million.
This is Woody Grant.
We are now authorized to pay $1 million to Woodrow T. Grant of Billings, Montana.
This is his son.
You didn't win anything. It's a complete scam. So you gotta stop this, okay?
I'm running out of time.
This is his wife.
I never knew the son of a bitch even wanted to be a millionaire. You should have thought about that years ago and worked for it.
How much longer is he gonna be around? And what's the harm in letting him have his little fantasy for just a couple more days?
We're devoid of humor this week.
Yeah, we get crummy weather, so we're completely devoid.
No comedy. Period.
Hi, I'm Evan.
I'm Allie.
And we are here with our week 4 of the Young Folks Oscar Buzz. I think this is a little too dry.
Yeah, I can't do the monotone like you can.
It's all right. So we're going to start off week 4 with Nebraska. My glasses were glaring. Nebraska is starring Bruce Dern, June Squibb, Will Forte, and Bob Odenkirk. And directed by Alexander Payne, who is also the guy responsible for... What else did he direct?
The Descendants, About
That's
Schmidt,
right.
and Sideways.
Cool. Yes. Those are on my list of things to watch. So you can be the resident expert in this scenario on his directing.
I've only seen one.
That's fine. So Nebraska is about Bruce Dern, who is a father. Where do they live? It's just kind of like Midwest.
Yeah.
But he's an old drunkard father a little bit, who is kind of like obsessed with leaving something as far as his legacy goes. So he gets this kind of scam in the mail that's like, oh, hey, you're doing this sweepstakes and you get $1 million. And he thinks that he's just going to get $1 million if he goes there. So his youngest son, Will Forte, keeps catching him trying to walk up to where the sweepstakes people have their office in Nebraska. And he just kind of decides, screw it, I'm just going to take him and he'll see that it's a scam, or if he gets the $1 million, whatever. And it's just kind of
a father-son story, a family story.
It's a family story, too.
And it's kind of a character study, too, with Bruce Dern's character, especially towards the end. There's one scene towards the end that maybe we can talk about later, but it's really touching and how kind of in one scene shows you all you need to know about him.
Yeah. But he had, I think everybody kind of had a strong performance through the whole movie, but definitely I think that his nomination for Best Actor is really well deserved. The other nominations are the June Squibb, who plays his wife.
My favorite part.
For Best Supporting Role, for Best Picture, obviously. And then in cinematography, directing by Alexander Payne, and an original screenplay by Bob Nelson. I think this is his first writing thing from when I looked up on IMDb. So...
I think the only thing out of those that I would, question a bit is cinematography, because it's kind of like they were like, oh, it's in black and white. Obviously, the cinematography is really
and I was reading in the trivia about it. The studio was like really like concerned about how that was being filmed, and I think it was just kind of like a choice that Payne made himself.
Yeah, it was a smart choice because it made you like focus on the characters and the story rather than being caught up in any other kind of spectacle of filmmaking.
Well,
but I don't think it necessarily like warrants a nomination because it's just because they put it in black and white. Nothing about there's nothing like altogether artistic in the way that it was shot, other than it was a little quirky compared to everything else.
You know what else I'm actually just kind of noticing is that it really is in essence a road trip movie. So there's just a lot of like really bare, kind of bland looking kind of highway shots through the whole movie, or like the old hometown. So that kind of brought a little more character out of it, rather than having it just kind of look like just barren Midwest.
Yeah, and road movies, when they do get those like kind of sweeping landscape shots, they always do evoke a certain emotion from you. I mean, I love road movies. I love road movies and coming of age movies. So.
Did you like The Guilt Trip?
No.
With Barbra Streisand and Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. It was sweet. I don't know if I loved it for a couple. There was only a couple of things that I really kind of were like,
Well, what were those things? Because I just kind of liked it a lot overall.
I thought the twin brothers, I thought they were so unnecessary that it actually brought the movie down to me, because it was just it's almost like they got
The
insecure.
criminal brothers.
Yeah, it was like they got insecure with their script and were like, we need some bigger laughs. And it's almost like they didn't trust the audience to be smart enough to find the humor in the script without like a bigger, obvious laugh. And they just kind of bothered me.
They bothered me at first, but then once they kind of became a part of this whole extended family that they had, and you kind of see this conflict of, and I really love, there's kind of like this theme in the movie that you kind of realize towards the end where we kind of live in a world where things really have like a numerical value in terms of money, hence stuff like The Wolf of Wall Street. But the character that Bruce Dern and June Squibb play, they kind of like express that like there was a time when, you know, families and friends would kind of do favors for one another. And, you know, the money that was spent or lost out of a situation never really mattered because, you know, you love these people.
Yeah.
And you do
but
anything
now
to them.
there's more of a
for them.
price attached to favors.
And I feel like that is a consistent theme through the movie. I did really like the writing through it.
I really did like the writing, and that's why I was so like annoyed by the brothers' stuff because it seemed like they didn't trust the good writing that they had.
Yeah.
And so again, it was brief, like, you know, it wasn't anything that affected my entire view of the movie. It was just kind of
it was just kind of like the movie hit that halfway point, and it was kind of like we needed some more characters to kind of have
and they
you know,
did
the
it.
son and the father kind of like just kind of grow, and like how do they handle a situation where like somebody's expecting something from them.
But I do want to briefly talk about Juna Squibb really quick
Yeah,
because
June Squibb.
I thought she was maybe the
ridiculous.
best part of the movie for me. I've never seen her anything. I think the big thing for her was always about Schmidt with Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
But I mean, like the energy that woman had.
Really?
Was
She's just kind of like, I don't even know how to describe her.
Like anytime I laughed in that movie, usually was because of her. Like I just like she has no chance in winning this year.
Yeah.
But if she did, I would be happy. Like of course I love Lupita Nyong'o so
I was
much.
about to mention her.
Like I want her to, but if anybody else had to come in and steal it, if it was Juna Squibb, I'd be like,
I
she
wouldn't
really did
mind.
put in good work.
Really, I mean, I can't even remember who the other, well, then there's Jennifer Lawrence. I think those are the only three I can
Sally
remember.
Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins and,
One other.
One
Julia
other.
Roberts.
Okay. But yeah, some of the biggest laughs I really had, I don't even want to spoil the scene, but there's just several scenes where you get to a point where
You see the
the
family.
full family, all four, Bruce Dern, June Squibb, Will Forte, and Bob Odenkirk, were just kind of like all like, just kind of like finishing this journey together a little bit.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest laughs are just kind of like out of the chemistry between the four of them. that I got.
Exactly. It really
And,
was
yeah.
familial. Like they seemed like they knew each other really well. They could work off each other.
Did you see the random thing, by the way, that they were considering Bryan Cranston for Will Forte's role?
No, don't tell me that. That would have been fantastic.
It would have been, but you would not have been able to get Walter White and Saul Goodman out of your head.
I don't care. I love Bryan
That being
Cranston.
said, I really, really liked Will Forte. I mean, I always have, but I thought he did a great job.
He was very good. He was everyday man, like just easy to watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Again, this movie didn't like make me want to like really recommend it to everybody it came across, but it was fun and it was nice, and I understand why it was the Best Picture nominee, which I can't say for every single movie on this list. So
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
would
fun.
recommend watching it. I don't think it's gonna win that many awards, but it's a nice movie that's worth watching. So there you go, guys.
Yay.
We'll see you on the flip side.